Second adventure 2 is a Korean culture blog set in Toronto, Canada. It's all about Korean culture, from traditional culture to Korean food to K-pop, Korean movies, and other forms of pop culture. And I love Korean food, and so do my readers. So this is my first Korean cooking show. So forgive me because the camera work is probably going to be crappy, but I promise I'll get better as things go on. So for the first dish, we're going to do Doenjangjiggae, because Doenjangjiggae is my favorite of all Korean foods. It's also the first thing I learned how to cook while I was still living in Korea, because it's really easy. It's really quick to put together, and you need a lot of ingredients. The ingredients are really easy to find both in Korea, obviously, and also in Canada, at least in Toronto. These are our ingredients, and this is what goes with pretty much every Korean meal: kimchi and rice. So first, we've got water. I've already measured and put the water in the pot. Those are dried frozen anchovies. They're in the strainer because they get removed from the soup. They're just used to make the broth. And once everything gets in, the water will rise, so they'll actually be in it. Onions, gochujang, doenjang, duck. I really like sliced duck in my doenjangjiggae. You find it in some, but not all. Zucchini, garlic, potato, Korean pepper, and if you're not a fan of really spicy food, you can take the seed out of the Korean pepper and it'll be less spicy, but you'll still get the flavor. And tofu. So those are the main ingredients. Although the duck and the potato isn't in all, although potatoes in quite a few. You can also add ingredients like spam, seafood, beef. There's all kinds of things you can add. This is a fairly basic one. Okay? Now, there's one other thing I'm going to make a little change on, and that's onions. You see the onions are cut really big, and that's because I hate onions. But I understand that they're necessary to cook with, so I'm going to stick them in here with the anchovies, because then the flavor will go in the soup, but I can take them out and throw them out. Then I don't have to eat them. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to stick the zucchini in, because it takes the longest to cook. So I'm just going to pile that in, and to make sure I get it all in, take the ones out of the onions. Don't worry, my hands have been washed. Then I'm going to set the strainer in the pot so I make sure that it's in the water. And we're going to go over to my stove. This is my kitchen, by the way. Sorry, there's dirty dishes. And turn it on. So now that it's on the stove, we're going to cover it and bring it to a boil and let it boil for a couple minutes. So now that it's coming to a boil, not quite there yet, I'm adding the gochujang and the doenjang. So we'll give that a little stir to make sure it's all mixed in. It's coming to the boil. Put that anchovies back in. So you'll see it's a nice brown color with just a little bit of red. I'm going to put the lid back on so it can come to a boil. Okay, it's almost at a boil. I'm going to add the potatoes and the duck and the garlic. Some people saute the garlic beforehand. I don't do that simply because I'm lazy and that's just an extra step. So give it a stir. Stick those back in. Lid back on because it's not quite at a boil. You can see that it's getting a lot fuller and it's almost at a boil. Excellent. So now that it's come to a boil, I'm going to take the lid off, put you back down, and add in the peppers. I like my doenjang a little spicy, so I'm adding in 3 peppers, although 1 has been deseeded, so it won't be that spicy. If you like your doenjang less spicy, then add less peppers. And add deseeded ones. And I'm also adding in the tofu. Which has been cubed. And then I'm putting this back in. Bringing it back to a boil because I added some new ingredients in. It's not quite at a boil anymore. Okay, as you can see, it's come back to the boil. So I'm turning it down. And we're just going to let this cook for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we're going to come back then. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, it's now been boiling for 15 minutes, so I'm going to remove the onions and the anchovies. Ooh, that's kind of hot. I'm going to grab a cloth and remove the onions and anchovies. Just letting all the water drain out, because that's nice yummy water. Oh, it smells so delicious. I always, when I tell people that I love Doenjangjiggae, that it's my favorite Korean food, my Korean friends, when it's the first time they've heard it, are always very surprised. Apparently, it's a food that they don't expect foreigners to like. But, what can I say? Give this a stir. Dish it out. When you're dishing it out, make sure you always go right to the bottom. That's where the duck will be. Well, at least if you want duck, go right to the bottom. Piece of duck. Hot. Very hot. And last, turn it off. So now we have Doenjangjiggae. This is a nice simple meal, quick to prepare. The whole thing takes maybe 40 minutes. About 20 minutes cooking time and 20 minutes to prep. So thanks for stopping by. Hopefully it wasn't too painful to watch. And I hope you try out the recipe. If you're actually looking for the amount of the ingredients and exactly the directions so you can write it down, don't forget to visit my blog, Life and Adventure 2. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Cheers!